Hi, everybody, and welcome to round 7 of the online British Championships. We're nearing the final stages, just 3 rounds to go, and we will know who the new British online champion is. The current champion, Mickey Adams, is actually half a point off the lead tonight, so he'll be playing for a win to get back into top spot. And that even assumes that the people on top board, which is Bogdan Lalic and Keith Arkle, make a draw. Okay, and so a very classic game on board 1. I will show you the pairings now. Okay, so this is what we have. Top board Bogdan is white against Keith. I'm sure that they have played many times before. And board 2, Nut Flush, Paul Dargan against Mickey Adams.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Paul Dargan's been in our chat, and his name is C3 Sicilian. So we're expecting. Well, Mickey doesn't. We probably won't do a Sicilian, will he? So we maybe won't get a C3 Sicilian, but that's what we're hoping for from the names. And board 3 is Yichin Han, junior player, very strong junior player, against Gerasimos Giachos. Then we've got Amit Abbas against Welsh online champion Jonathan Blackburn. And we have junior player Schlock Firma against Chris Duncan. We have Phil Brooks against Ollie Stubbs. We have Ayan Ishmael Mohammed against Edison Zhu. Johnny Payne against Frederick Gordon, should be an interesting one, Freddie the Mate. We have Czech Matelot against Adam Sikovsky. Ferrari fan Robert Starley against Jonathan Mackay. We have Hebs against Theo Cowrie. We have Chavez Ali against Ayan Kolani. We have Tashika Aurora against Olga Latipova. A rerun, in fact, of this afternoon when they played in the Women's Championship. The same colours as well. We have George Gazis against Spencer Lawrence. Prachi Aurora against Stephen Willison, and Rainer Jitendra against Yongyi Wang. So that's the lineup tonight, and we will attempt to follow all of those games if we can. Okay, and so it's just a couple of minutes until the game starts. So I'm going to share my chess.com screen anyway. Probably what we will get treated to is some of the players playing bullet, maybe. Well, that's when I was putting in all the follows. I was seeing a lot of bullet going on. Maybe they'll have stopped by now.
Mostly junior players, I think.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm just trying to remember who was playing bullet just now. Champ7 was playing bullet. And seems to have delivered a very nice checkmate against Marcin 77.
Indeed, good strong play. Yeah, it can be a way to get yourself into action. You know, just a quick round of bullet games. But
hello, Will Sonia.
Oh, hey, Chess with ADHD. Tell me about 1a6 versus Karpov and why Karpov didn't play 2c4. Well, I mean, after e4, a6, c4, then e5 is actually quite decent for black chess. Even c5 isn't so silly either. So now Karpov played 2d4. That's quite normal. It's quite a good move. But yeah, it was just later that it all went wrong for Anatoly against Tony.
Hi, Hellrace. Hi, Tilbs. Nice to see you.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you again. We've got our regulars, the ones that always hang out at the British Online Chess Cafe.
Here is Bogdan against Keith, and starting with 1d4, d5.
Oh, d5 from Keith. That's ever such a small surprise. He's playing the Slav. Okay. Exchange Slav. So
my prediction is it's going to be a draw. What do you think?
It's looking quite calm so far, I have to say. But we'll.
Annihilate Officials made the comment in the chat for the game. This is a long game. Oh, this is a long game. I suppose they mean slow play game. I was thinking, thought he was doing some kind of sarcastic thing about, oh god, they're going to agree a draw in 10 moves or something.
Let's have a quick look at Nut Flash against Mickey, just to see what happened. I'm actually quite intrigued.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh yeah, Mickey has played C5.
That's what the crowd wanted.
That's really, all right.
Wanting fantastic. Well done, Mickey.
I was really wondering about it, because Nut Flash is quite solid against all the openings. So
this is what we wanted to see.
He's played the exchange Lopez against 1e5. But Mickey's not a Sicilian player normally.
No, well, he must. I mean, he must know that Nut Flash plays the C3 Sicilian for sure, and he fancies that.
Well, Mickey's got a vast experience with white on the C3 Sicilian, so that is So that will obviously help. But it's I can't help thinking it's a slightly strange choice, really, because I don't know, C3 Sicilians. These lines are very well known, and a lot of them just lead to rather well-known draws. In actual fact, C3 Sicilian is very solid. So be intrigued to see what variation Mickey comes up with. He's playing the main line, which really is, unless he spotted something that Paul plays that he thinks is risky. But I mean, Bishop B5 is really dull. I mean, I was a Sicilian player. I was a Sicilian player all my life, and I just. Whenever this one happened, I always groaned. I mean,
I heard the sound of someone offering a draw. Yeah, oh God, no! This was my prediction. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
Yeah, no, they've agreed a draw there.
Boggy and Keith. Yeah, I thought they would. Okay, so they've agreed a draw in 12 moves.
Fair enough. It's fair enough. Keeps everyone.
So Keith's going to remain at the top of the tournament, but he could now be joined if either Mickey Adams or Gerasimos Giachos wins today, then Keith will only be sharing the lead.
Or Paul Dargan, because we got.
Oh, sorry, I'm omitting Paul Dargan. Apologies, Paul, or Nut Flash. So if Nut Flash wins, then of course
we've got 3 people on 4.5. So so 2 people could conceivably catch Keith on 5.5 now.
Yes. So, okay. So that's board 1 for you. Okay, well, we are predicting well tonight. We mentioned the C3 Sicilian, although I suppose I predicted it wouldn't happen, but that has happened, and we predicted a quick draw on board 1.
No difference, chess with ADHD, between knight d2 and knight c3. I mean, it might have a little difference if black goes g6 or something like that, but it's not really. Basically, it always transposes. It's there is essentially no difference. I mean, 3 g6 is not so good against knight d2, but also not great against 3 knight c3. So it would only be the offbeat lines against the Caro. They're different when you play. It's slightly different when you play knight c3, knight d2, but they're all quite bad. So it doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
All right. So
I think Hari Krishna once said that he interchanged 3 knight c3 and 3 knight d2 against the Caro, and they always led to the same thing. After d takes c4, knight takes c4. But when he played knight d2, he had a much higher score than when he played knight c3. So he just put it forward as one of those oddities. But it doesn't make any difference in actual fact. So Mickey's gone bishop d7, and now White's got to make a decision about. So bishop d7 is slightly unusual. D takes d5 is often played. Knight takes c5, bishop d7, which is which I've had I think with both colours actually, but especially with black. I had a game against John Ems actually, where at the Isle of Man tournament after bishop d5, d takes c5. So bishop d7 is slightly unusual, but I thought not supposed to be amazingly fantastic for black. But possibly pretty unusual. So
I think it has surprised black anyway. He's having his first kind of think of the game, really. Oh, sorry, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. He had a little think at the previous.
No, I was saying bishop d7 is unusual.
Yeah. That's what I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. So knight c3 is possible. E takes d6 is also possible, but de. So Mickey's clearly prepared this. Just trying to think about this line. Yeah, but this is really even, this one. Because this is well known. I mean, I think I take on e5. I go knight e5, de, bishop b5, and then I go queen takes d8 check. Oh no, I go knight takes b5, queen d1, king e2. I mean, this is really what this is. Just there's just oodles of theory on this, but very old, and it's just supposed to be absolutely nothing for
takes here.
I take with a knight. No, take with a knight. Take with a knight. Take with a knight, I think. And then queen d1, rook d, queen d1, king d1, rook d8. Even castles queen side. Maybe it's castles.
I was going to say castles queen side. Do you think castles?
Yeah, castles queen side. King e2, rook d5. I think is well known. And I'm trying. I can't remember the lines anymore. Is it a4? Maybe it's a4 or something. But this is just supposed to be, rook e5, bishop e3. This is really just supposed to be, really even, and it's well known, and there's loads of stuff on this. So I'm finding it a bit surprising that Mickey's going for that, really, unless he's got some, some.
Might have a trick, mightn't he? Have a new
trick
move.
or some clear ideas about how this is, better for black or good for black.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Slightly surprising. I mean, just there's a massive, no disrespect to Paul, but there is a massive difference between Paul and Mickey, something like 600 elo points in principle, and so yeah, naturally you sort of expect black to be well, if you're going, either you go offbeat, and you try and make the opponent think as quickly as possible, or you just play your normal lines which you know better. But to go into a line you don't normally play and then follow the theory like this is quite strange.
Mickey will know what he's doing. I'm sure he'll have.
I'm sure Mickey knows what he's doing. It's absolutely just. I'm just slightly interested to know what
exactly it is.
What that could be exactly, because
yeah.
I mean, just again, I mean, it's no criticism, but just an observation. I've often played lines that I know well with one color, with the other color, so I know a line well. I played a line with white all the time, and then I play against it with black. And what I always found was that there are a lot of lines, obviously, that I'd rejected as white, for example, which didn't lead to any specific advantage, because I thought, it's really too little. I can't play like that. I don't want to play like that. But when I faced them as black, they were always, I always thought, oh God, it's actually a little bit irritating. I'm a bit worse here, And you don't always have a very good appreciation of how good an opening is with the other color, just because you know it very well from one side. I think often you, often you miss a little bit,
Okay. So here's my new theory then. So now Mickey is practicing playing the black side of it to help his white play when he comes to play the C3 Sicilian again.
I don't think he's played the C3 Sicilian in quite a while, Mickey.
Well, maybe he's about to take it up again. You never know.
Yeah, but he's playing the theoretical line here, so
okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on this game.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of correspondence games in this as well, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yes. Well, we'll keep an eye on this. Let's see Peshka the Great. Another Sicilian, but not a C3 one.
No, this is a Najdorf. Okay, and Peshka plays the move A4. Yeah, I mean, white players have been playing all sorts of stuff against the Najdorf. A4 never really thought to be one of the most dangerous lines, but I always used to meet it with G6 actually, and just sort of claiming that since white's played the move A4, weakening the queen side, he's less likely to castle on the queen side. So I can play G6, bishop G7, and just get a very decent dragon. And that worked out pretty well for me. E5, I always found a little bit more awkward, because the point is A4 stop B5, so it's taking control of light squares. And actually, the fact that you've delayed developing the light square bishop anywhere means that after knight F3, bishop B7, bishop C4 has happened in the game. White can get the bishop to C4.
Yeah.
So bishop E6, queen E2, and Yeah, this is a sort of a 6 bishop e3 Najdorf. You get these with the 6 bishop e3 Najdorf, only you haven't had to commit your bishop to e3, and you played the useful move a4. So I quite like white in this sort of position. You know, I think white's got quite a nice version, because often this happens. You know, often when you go 6 bishop e3, e5, knight f3, you get similar positions. But here you can play the bishop to g5 in one go. You know, it's just a little bit more efficient, I think. So yeah, a nice, clever move order from Yichin, and I think been rewarded with a slight stable advantage with white. But yeah, it's a typical Najdorf, so anything can happen there.
Okay, we're going to see Schlock Verma against Drunken Knight. Sorry, Chris Duncan.
Yeah, so it's a QGA through actually through a Slav move order. So it's quite interesting, this one. You go e6, and after e3 you go c5. So you've actually lost a tempo with black because you played c6 and c5, but that extra tempo is the move a4, which is not clearly a
could be good or bad, right?
A good thing, really. You know, and actually, I mean, these ideas were actually some players came up with them in the 1920s. You know, Bogolubov and I think in Erva both tried this e6 looking for a c5 like this, but they certainly Bogolubov got rather badly treated by Alekhine. Alekhine went 6e4 and went for the big attack. So it never really took on. But actually, I think it was Kramnik who came up with this, and it's quite sensible. You know, knight c6, castles, takes bishop e7. I mean, the only big drawback with all these IQP positions is that white can play the move d5.
Yes, and Schlock has done that straight away.
Yeah, and that's just sort of it just means that you're not really gonna. Yeah, it's going to be a toughie to make anything of this.
This is just going to be quite equal, I suppose, or symmetrical anyway.
This is dead equal. The present of the b4 square is quite useful, because I mean normally white might be able to go a3 and stop you from going knight b4, and now you've got the b4 square. So it's this is probably quite a good version for black. But yeah, it's in principle it sort of depends. I think you normally know whether you're going to make something with black from this in the first few moves after the queen exchange. You know, does the opponent put his pieces on good squares, natural squares? Does he play quickly? If he plays quickly, does he play good moves? And if it starts well, then you often see, well, I'm probably not going to get anything in this position.
Yes, this must still be theory, though.
Oh yeah, it's theory, but I mean, it's not like, I mean, it's not going to be very deeply analyzed theory, because it's just equal. You know, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I mean, white can do so, black can do several things. I mean, probably queen takes d5 is the safest. If you go castles, white might get tempted with queen h5. And then that could be slightly irritating, because you've got stuff like knight g5 or bishop f4, rook d1. You know, so probably taking on d5 is the safest, and maybe after bishop
d5. I suppose
d5,
Chris would not mind swapping queens off against a junior player, because the sort of accepted wisdom is that it's easier to play in end games rather than keep the queen.
You've got to like endings to yourself, really, and as a dragon player, he's more of an all-in, more of an all-in attacking player, really. All
right. So, well, let's see what he does. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. So Phil Brooks against Ollie Stubbs, and a King's Indian. Excellent. Let's see a King's Indian. Aha. Oh, this one. This is where you really do get tempted to push your H-pawn up the board against that knight.
Yeah, I mean, this was recommended, funnily enough, in Ray Keene's An Attacking Repertoire with D4, which was a very good book, actually, and really shaped my my D4 repertory when I was young. And Ray came up with, well, it was known, but he recommended this one. It was had quite a lot of success when I was a junior at because you saw that a lot of players, certainly in the minors, minor sections of weekend tournaments where I was playing, they played this system. So
well, I played it. No, this there was a World Junior in Romania, and the Romanian girl played it, and I pushed my H-pawn up the board and did this really good kingside attack. It was very nice.
You were playing D4 at the time, Natasha?
No. I was playing King's Indian as black.
Ah, you're black. You're
He
black.
played the system, and I
Okay.
did the H pawn attack against it.
Ah, well, actually, the H pawn is also part of White's attack there. So
yeah, it does seem to be, but it was definitely fun playing it for black. Yeah. Hi, King Star.
Hey, King Star. So we're actually heading into the more or less the main trap of this line. So we're going to see what. So Bishop E2, Knight A6, H4 now from White, H5, and Bishop G5. And the big idea of this line is that you're threatening to play Bishop takes H5, G takes H5, Knight takes H5, with a very unpleasant pin on the Knight on F6.
So what do you do about that? Queen E8.
Well, this is very careful from black, and that's the problem. The problem is that it's not that hard to avoid.
You don't fall into it. Black's fine.
Yeah, but a lot of it wasn't something you particularly expected, really. So a lot of there's quite a few famous games in this line with Bishop H5 happening.
Hi, Kevin Winter. How are you doing?
Hi. It's probably a very good one for Blitz, actually, as well. Has to be said. Very easy just to. The Queen 8's nice and cautious, and yeah, after that, the sacrifice doesn't really have much.
Yeah. Oh, and is this the one where you is white black? Sorry, aiming for F5 as well.
Well, F5 is a little bit tricky because your H5 pawn this week, and there's a knight on G3. So after F5, EF, GF, I'll just take on H5. So
you can't do it.
Yeah, so that's a little bit awkward. But I mean, Bishop E3, Bishop D7. The thing about it, you've got a pretty. I mean, White's basically got a same-ish. I mean, hasn't played F3 yet, but knight on G3 is quite common. So it's not. Yeah, this is quite a difficult position for both sides. The one tricky thing for black playing against the knight G3 system this way is that yeah, where is the counterplay coming from? Because C6 isn't possible because we can take on C6 and go Queen takes D6.
Yeah.
And otherwise, if F5 is difficult because the H5 pawn is hanging, then it can be a little bit difficult for black to get things moving. On the other hand, that knight on G3, that's in the way of the G4 pawn push. So
yeah. Black might have to sacrifice it. Could we go like A4? A4.
Yeah. Sorry, A4.
A4. I'm trying to think of play for black. Not immediately, but.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you'll go knight C5, A4 probably, but it's just a bit hard after that. I mean, I go King B1, Rook C1, and just it's sort of quite decent.
I've heard about the Northumbrian Masters. It sounds really great. I don't think I'll be able to play myself just because I'm working at the moment and doing a million things, but I will definitely be keeping an eye on it. Are you playing, Matthew?
No. I'm working.
Working as well. Yeah, we're working. Tough old life, huh? Work gets so much in the way of chess. I shouldn't say that because probably people from work might see this stream or something. But
you'll be quoted and used against you.
I'll be quoted. Yeah. Especially as this is being recorded. I didn't say any of that. Okay, so let's see the next one, which is McCarthy Stone. So Jonathan Payne against Frederick the Mate. Freddie the Mate has been having a really nice tournament, has played a lot of the top players. So let's see how this all goes. Actually, McCarthy Stone's played, actually he had a really nice game the other day as well, with a kind of quick win with it wasn't quite the Budapest, was it? But that's sort of
the Jarovitz he played.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, Bishop B5. This is in principle. This is quite nice for White. I played this in Bullet an awful lot, but it's I also played it. This was also the system that got me my IM title when I was 14. So it's I like it very much. I mean, you just Bishop D7, castles E6, and then you just swap off the bishop for the knight and put a knight on E5, and then off you go, basically. F4, and the idea is D3, knight D2. So Bishop E5 is a very early counter to that, very, very early indeed. But interesting. So yeah, Queen G4 is what you'd normally expect from white here, just to tease the dark squares, and then afterwards you can develop. But just ask black to weaken the dark squares. But white played
What's
D4.
this? Frederick the mate declined a draw.
Wowsies!
Gosh, that's all. That's all. It's all happening. It is all.
Well, it is actually all happening, because let's move on a little bit.
Yeah.
So D4, Queen G5, Queen
Ooh.
F3, castles, Knight C3, and then F6.
Oh, okay. So this F file could be opening up.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty decent for black now, looks like. But we've got some big complications coming. So Queen H3 was played.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll talk with really way too bad in just a moment.
So F takes E5, Queen E6 check, and King H8. So yeah, now we've got to have a little look to see what's happening here. In principle, first glance is that black's actually doing quite well here, because you're queen's active. You're targeting this pawn on E3, yeah, that's actually a rather irritating threat. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the one thing that white's got to be careful about is that bishop on C6. If the D pawn moves, then D4 is going to be very strong as well. So white should really try, I think, and keep that pawn on D4. So yeah, I mean, what would be interesting here for?
Thank you. Confirm, disconfirm.
What would be an interesting idea here for white? Well, actually, it's actually not so clear. What would I want to do here with white?
I suppose white wants to open up that one, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, but the problem is if I go something like DE or DC,
yeah,
I just go D4,
we get this one and that one,
which I think is going to be quite unpleasant. I mean, even queen takes E3 and queen takes, if you take on E5, queen takes E5 is I mean, no problems at all for black. So yeah, I think white's probably got a little bit of work to do here.
Oh, confirm, disconfirm is suggesting Queen H3, Queen G6. This is a queen swap maneuver, is it? Here.
Okay. Yeah, I think after Queen H3, I probably won't go Queen G6, I don't think. Although the Queen G6, I'm hitting C2. That's also not bad. Rook F8. Okay. So I'll just go Rook takes F8 now. Knight F8 doesn't make any sense. I mean, just Queen takes C5. And then after Rook takes F8, I don't know. I'm threatening. I've got quite a few threats here, I mean, maybe are we going to go Rook E1 to defend the E pawn? But that feels really.
Yeah, it feels like black's on the attack then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I could just take on D4 and then go D3 and D4, and just sacrifice like that. I mean, that's the first thing that comes into your head, and there's there's other stuff as well. So
the Rook takes, presumably.
Yeah, Rook takes, and I presume Rook E1, I suppose. I can't think of.
What about that?
Yeah, E takes D4.
Well,
I think you've made everything worse by taking on F8, really, because now, I mean, now, I don't know, this just looks, this looks quite, I mean, E4, Queen D2 or something, and I'm just, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to calculate it with black. It's just, it's just all the difficulties are with white there. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure what white's idea is, but everything that he's doing seems to be making it worse at the moment. So, I mean, Rook E1 is possible, and then I've just got to consider. But I mean, I could do something like, for example, C takes D4. Even, I mean, there's just so many ideas here. E takes D4, Queen D2.
Then we take here.
Still
got the same thing.
I don't know, Knight F6, for example.
Oh gosh, yeah, no. It's.
I mean,
it's scary. We'll stop.
I don't know. I mean, it's just really scary, right? I mean, there might be, it might well be that you say, oh no, there's a precise way to hold this with, an engine line to hold, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really know where to start. And E takes D4. I've got Queen D2, for example. here. So I think that's just winning on the spot, actually. So I think rook f8.
So let's try this line, queen h3.
Okay, but okay. What if I go c takes d4 again? Let's just try that.
Yeah. Okay. So we better take it back, I suppose.
Yeah. And I'll go queen d2.
Queen d2.
Just try that one.
Okay. And so you're threatening. Oh yeah, you're check and then checkmate as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks pretty scary too.
I mean, yeah. Again, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting the huge effort in order to discover it. You know,
So
what could
queen
White do?
d3.
Well, queen f2 check. Probably e takes d4.
Oh, and we can't go knight e2 because you may.
No. But knight e2, I go knight e5 here. I mean, queen d4, I go queen e2, queen e5, rook f1 check, and then it really is made. So, you know.
And not do that. There. Oh, and then if I go bishop takes, you take and take on f2.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I think this looks difficult as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basically. I mean, you know, with black, you just wait and say, well, okay, you know, white, what are you going to do? Oh, okay.
Well, let's actually see what white has done. There we go. So it went rook f8. Oh, and then he did do knight d5.
Yeah. But this is
which was my move, but then you refuted it, I think.
Well, yeah, I said ed e4 and queen d2 was my
e4. Oops, sorry. So e4, and now the prediction is that with that threat. Ooh. Okay.
I mean, it's not like even like the only one. I mean, knight e5 looks incredibly dangerous as well. You know,
knight e5 now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing bishop takes d5 and then queen e3 and knight g4. You know, I mean, it's just all there. You know, I mean, it really is just a very unpleasant position for white, this one. So yeah, I mean, white's going to have to be incredibly resourceful here to find some good fighting chances, I think.
Yes. Ocelot suggesting bishop c1. I guess that'll be. Actually, it's black's move now.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if I go queen d2, of course, then you haven't got that resource.
Yes.
I'm threatening queen f2. Knight e5, bishop c1 is possible. But I mean, I've got knight f3 check after. That was the idea. And then I was assuming that I was going to have something very dangerous like, you know, king h1, queen h5 or something hitting h2.
I'd have to say it does look dangerous.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's got to be calculated, and you know, there can be unpleasant surprises along the way and all these things.
Because there's also
no, I go knight e1. I go knight e1.
Knight e1, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, I go knight e1.
So that's e4.
Knight e5.
Knight e5.
Bishop
here.
C1, check.
Check. Here and this one. And if you take the queen, there's the rook f1 mate, and also this is a threat. So that's a scary line too. Okay,
this is really really horrific for white at the moment. It's gone horribly wrong. But I mean, Jonathan's is a very tricky, resourceful person. So in these situations, you know, he'll get the maximum out of what white's got in the position.
For sure.
So Freddie's got to be on his game to get this done. But in principle, black's got a fantastic position after you know, just 17 moves. Okay,
we're going to quickly look at this one that's over now. The story behind this is, and see what you think. Apparently the colors were displayed wrong. So our poor old young Wang has prepared for the wrong color. You're not the first person to have done that in our chat, because I know Theo did that yesterday, but this seems to be, yeah, oh, this is our, oh, this line.
Oh,
Smith did something nasty to me in this line. AP Smith. Yeah, it's along the lines of this kind of thing. Yeah, oh, this is horrible. But yeah, so I don't know. I can see it must be annoying. Yes, that the pairings were showing the wrong way around, I think. Hard luck though. Fight on again tomorrow, Yongwang, and we will follow your game.
And we will follow your game, of course we will.
Okay, let's see. Checkmate a lot against Testarossa.
Oh God!
The birds.
I'm sure everyone's got your trends book on it, Natasha, and that's ruining.
I don't know whether Checkmate Slot has my trends book on the birds.
I looked the other day, and you can still get a copy of it on Amazon for the price, the princely sum of £55.
They're like really expensive now because it's I don't know. I mean, you know, I like to think it's worth £5, but I'm sure you could get probably more weighty books for £55. Here we go. D5, E3, C5. Ah, yes, knight H6 against bird. Yes, people have done that against me when I've played the birds. And then they come into F5 sometimes.
Okay, so this is, and Checkmate Lot's playing a little bit aggressively here with E4. Bishop C7, E5, possible. You can also keep the tension a little bit longer, but can't be bad. Knight E8, but I think at some stage you're going to have to swap off that dark squared bishop, that light squared bishop, really. But now it's not going to get trapped yet. Sometimes you've got to worry that the opponent just leaves it and goes bishop C8 and then A6, but you could always take on E8 now. So yeah. That would be fine. So I'll probably guess Checkmate Lot will go castles, and yeah, we've just got a position, a just normal position where White's got pawn to E5, and yeah, Black's got a solid center. Yeah, I mean, in principle, I'd play both colors. Wouldn't really worry too much about it. So
yeah, I would castle, I think. Yeah.
Or would you play H4?
No. I don't think I would in this position. Well, when I've done it before, I've gone, but I normally have to be honest, when I play it, I normally have my bishop there. I'd finish that, so it's a bit different, but I go like G4 and F5 and that kind of thing quite sometimes, if I get the right position for that. Queen E1, Queen H4, but it's in a slightly different position set up from this. But would I go H4? Maybe you can, because the center is quite closed, isn't it?
It's worth a go. It's not the most ridiculous thing you could do, actually, but I think castles is what's
Kevin, he's just said I'm just a hacker. It is true. It is true. That's kind of my play. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see what he does. So, do you reckon H4?
Nah, castles. I reckon
castles as well. All right, let's see. Ferrari fan against Dandy-tastic. This is Robert Starley, Jonathan Mackay. You know, like there's no significance to whether we're looking from the white side or the black side. It's because some of them were online earlier, so I could follow the player, whichever player was first. So Caro-Kann. Oh, this is a fun one too.
Oh, H4, H5, Queen B6. This is quite well known indeed. So Queen A6. Yeah, I mean, the beautiful idea is Queen takes B2, E6. This is the well-known trap.
So here, then E6.
E6. Yeah, it's a very dangerous.
And if you take it, you've got to what? Queen G6. Is that? Kind of
yeah, that's right. I mean, you've got all sorts of, or Knight F3, I think, and then after Queen A1, you go Queen B3, and you trap the Queen in the corner. It's there's masses of masses. There's quite a bit of. It's just known to be a known win for White. But the sad thing about it is that the black players don't do it anymore. John Shaw wrote a book for Quality Chess with this line in it, and did enormous amounts of analysis on all the sharpest lines, including E6, Knight D2, C5 with multiple pawn sacrifices. But in practice, nobody does it. They just go Queen A6.
Kevin's just reminded me that we featured his game. We have this channel Chess for Life, and we did a series Chess for Life in the time of Corona and interviewed a lot of players, and one of them was Kevin Winter.
Oh,
and
good.
he had a
Hi.
game.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen the yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
yeah.
Kevin.
Anyway, we have Queen A6, Queen takes, Knight takes, Knight F3, E6, castles, E7.
Yeah, this is just pretty even, but you know, the way it's played, then yeah, C4 is a little bit strange, maybe. It's not by definition a bad thing to play this move C4 at some stage and expand on the queen side, but you maybe sort of say, well, until you do that, then White's guessing as to what you're going to do. Are you going to take on D4, or are you going to play C4? So why not get your rook into play first of all, and play a few more strengthening moves, maybe F6, King F7 as well, and then you can decide what to do. Or you can play D7.
Might be going for B5, B4, but the knight on A6 blocks it a little bit, doesn't it? Because
that's right.
They might go A3.
So I mean, you could have gone rook HC8, F6 just to get a little bit of pressure on the center, B6, maybe moved your knight round to D7 or through B8, and then afterwards you play C4, and then everything flows nicely. I mean, that's the thing. Whereas here you're sort of I mean, I often compare it. You're just sort of striking in when you're in slightly off balance or something, and you say, "Well, I'm going to try and hit the guy anyway, even though I'm off balance." Whereas getting on balance, getting yourself properly set, that's the best way to do it. And yeah, so and often when that happens, that's often the slight difference between good and bad form. I mean, I always notice that if I'm in bad form, then I end up trying to force things and playing these sort of things too early, really, and then I always wonder why am I always one move too late with my stuff, and whereas when I'm playing well, you're always in time, you're always anticipating everything that the opponent does. It's all to do with with these sort of moments, I think. So yeah, so rook C8.
Yeah, so black has gone B5, A3. This has happened.
Yeah. Knight H6, Knight C7. But White's not doing a great deal to, White could.
Yeah, what should White be playing for? What, F4, F5?
Yeah, but I mean, it should have been much earlier, really. You should have been expanding on the king side, and yeah, I'm playing for F4, F5 or G4. But you're very, very late now, so it's probably you just don't really have much firepower to do it now. So I think that yeah, I mean, I think the black's just doing very nicely here. Knight A4, Knight A4. Okay, yeah, not quite sure. Yeah, might make it harder to get in B4 there because.
Yeah, because the knight might be on prise if A takes.
Yeah. But okay, I mean, it's going to be a long game. You're going to be maneuvering, and as long as you don't, I mean, you can nitpick on moves, but essentially, as long as you don't allow White to play any annoying breaks, then you'll always get a chance to redeploy your pieces. But the thing that needs to be done,
Smooth Baron. We know who Smooth Baron is, don't we? But now I've forgotten.
We do know who Smooth Baron is, but I've been trying to remember ever since saying hello, but I can't remember. Sorry about that, Smooth Baron. It's
we definitely know. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a long one. Black's on top. Next thing Black's got to do is to try and activate that knight on H6. That's the next big thing. So F6, knight F7 would be my tip, but we'll see. Right
now, Mark Hebden against Theo Cowrie, Whimsical Jam. Let's see this one. Sicilian Najdorf, excellent.
Wow, Mark playing the wow. I think that's yeah. Maybe Mark was a little bit frustrated with how the tournament had gone so far, so he's gone all in with the Sicilian Najdorf Bishop G5, which I can't ever remember seeing Keith play. I mean, I do remember that I was talking to Hebs rather. I do remember that I was talking to Hebs, and he said that he prepared a lot of these lines because when he was coaching juniors, and all that, but he found them sometimes quite difficult to remember, So, but let's have a look.
It's brave playing it against a junior then.
Indeed, but I think
he's a greedy pig man, isn't it? Is it greedy pig? Is that what you call it? The Barry attack he plays, and sometimes Humphrey. Theo's prepared for d4. Okay.
Yeah. No, this would
definitely be a surprise because we're not thinking Mark would play this at all.
No, absolutely. It's so Queen c7, castles, knight bd7, g4. So this is the old main line with black, knight bd7.
I used to play this as black when I was a teenager.
Yeah, knight bd7 is the old main line. I mean, nowadays they're much more often playing actually 7h6 and queen b6, some sort of variant of the poison pawn. But I used to play this, but the b5 is the normal move here. So Theo's move h6 is a little bit slow. Probably not to be recommended really, because it also h6 also weakens the light squares, so it weakens the g6 square. So it could be a touch awkward there. But h6 takes, h4, knight b6, and now g5
this
from
is
Mark.
What we like. Both players are going for it. G5.
Yeah. I mean, f5 would not be so silly either. That's also an interesting idea in these positions. Even something like bishop b5 check or knight db5 is not completely stupid, because the d6 pawn is quite weak.
What Theo is going to do is not castle into it. He's going to not castle kingside.
No, he's going to castle queenside in this position. That's true. So rook d4, queen c5. Rook went back to d2. I think Mark probably wants to keep the queen on f3 to be able to meet hg with hg. So bishop d7, and now bishop d3, quite solid. Rook hd1. Bishop c6. So White's got a slight edge from the opening there. Just, I mean, Black's sort of lost quite a bit of dynamism by losing the dark squared bishop. So there's not very much that Black can do. But on the other hand, I mean, it's just a solid position. So it's not.
It looks. I could be wrong, but it looks to me like Black could maybe develop some kind of attack with things like knight c4 at some point.
I would just take that, I think.
Just take it. You'd have to, wouldn't you? Because
but I mean, I mean, it's you haven't really got any amount of pieces for an attack there, so I think
I see.
White's doing quite well there, I think.
Yeah. Queen g3
takes some d5. Yeah, this is probably quite a crucial moment in the game actually, where you have to decide what you're going to do. What Mark does is quite quiet. And I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I don't know. I'm not quite sure what sort of winning chances you're gonna keep by doing this. I was vaguely keen on throwing in g6 with White before doing all of this. Maybe on the maybe on the 19th, on the 20th move.
So here. Maybe g6.
Yeah, just to try and loosen, because I don't think you're really worried about d4 particularly. I'd just go knight e2 and d knight e4. Again, I don't. There's some danger, but I don't think there's huge danger. And I just wouldn't mind weakening your kingside before trying to do anything more. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. It's I don't think it's very much for White in any case. But maybe you should play a move like I'm not sure. I mean, e5 is possible, but a touch risky. That because we could go d4 and
e5 here.
Yeah, then we go d4 and after knight e4 we could even take and go knight c4. So quite unclear complications there. So Mark's taken on d5, which is I mean the safe choice. It's a safe choice. Knight d5 takes a3, bishop c4 from Theo, and bishop e4. So Black looking to exchange off the light square bishops, but White keeping them on. Well, there's a nibble for white here because you know, I think we've got stuff like Queen C3. Yeah, I mean, moves like Queen C3 could be a little bit awkward. Black's a little bit, still a little bit awkward with the pieces, and maybe Bishop C4 hasn't really helped from that point of view. So
okay. Oh, that didn't work. Ah, that's because it's black's
white.
good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've got to see what black sort of does there, but not 100% clear. I mean, one thing you could do is to go, I guess, I think at some stage probably you're going to have to go rook takes d2, so you might as well do it now. Rook takes d2, rook takes d2, and well, I mean, then one of the interesting things is, can I just go rook d8 with black? I mean, can I just really just drain all the life out of the position? Which is probably not a bad moment to do it.
Can you just take it?
Yeah, I'd take it.
Have we? Do we lose something?
I was thinking that we must have something, but looking at it, I can't actually see it. No, that's absolutely correct. That's a bad oversight. So okay, well, that's actually quite refreshing and reassuring. So yeah, this is a little. This is definitely it's definitely an edge for white. Could we just put it back to Bishop E4 and just have a little look?
Yeah.
So I was vaguely thinking there might be something with a back rank somewhere, but that queen on G3 is doing a sterling job, just covering E3, F2, G3, and the bishop on E4 is covering H1 quite nicely. So not 100% clear how you're going to do this. And the bishop on C4 is probably it's a bit ugly, really. I don't. It was better, you know. It was much better on D5, you know. Put it that way. That's pretty clear. So I think, yeah, I think white's got.
Hellraiser is asking, should we just move back to D5 then?
Well, we could indeed, but I mean, then we've got a concession from black, haven't we? We take on D5, rook takes D5, we take, and then we could probably go Queen D3, maybe. Just attacking Queen D5 here. Threatening Queen F5 check. It's a little bit annoying. I mean, it's a slight edge for white.
Actually, I think I'm in analysis. I can actually do these moves.
Takes
here and Queen D3.
And Queen D3 probably.
Yeah.
It's a slight edge for white. You know, it's not like you know, appalling or anything, but it is a slight edge for white.
We could go here, and then you can't take on D5 because of the mate.
No, I mean, I could play stuff like maybe B4, maybe. I don't know whether this is even legal, but
okay. Queen C4.
Queen F5 check.
King here.
And then rook takes D5. Was my idea. Well, you could just go rook takes C2 here. Queen C2, Queen D5. That's not going to lead to very much.
Yeah.
To Queen D3, Rook H2. Yeah, I mean, this is not good. Just Queen D, put a Rook H2 up on there.
Sorry, what?
26 Rook H2.
Yeah. Here we go.
C3, Queen F2. No, not easy. Not easy.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, not easy. Maybe I probably need to do. Yeah, I feel there should be some sort of way to you know, to get some sort of little pull, but it's not huge. I mean, not huge at all. So,
all right, we are going to Shav 7 against Tactic Monster 12.
A bit of chaos there.
And the English opening. Starts quiet and livens up. It's very symmetrical at the moment.
Yeah, b3 is a little bit passive there, and black reacting quite sharply with d5. Sort of feels already like black's got a white opening. Really, you know, it's one of those. So knight a4, knight d3, takes, queen c2, queen d6, knight cb4, all getting quite sharp. Quite interesting, actually. So white really fighting to try and loosen that grip, playing bishop b4, black sacrificing a pawn, which feels like a good thing to do. Bishop b7, rook b8, and bishop g2. Okay, so I mean, basically, black's really been pressing from the opening. Got a big knight on d3, but white's got a pawn, and white is actually quite solid. I mean, there's not any immediate danger anywhere here. So yeah, not at all clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, white's next move probably is going to be knight b2, just to try and get rid of that knight. So
because if you do, it's looking pretty nice for white, isn't it?
Indeed, if you do, then you feel like you've definitely done a good job there.
Because that c-pawn could get weak as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I was actually wondering about was playing the move c4 here.
Yes. I suppose we'd take that one too.
Well, with what though?
Oh, I was thinking the pawn.
Yeah, and then I go rook b4. Not completely clear about this, but if I go rook b4, then
c5
and queen a6,
we're losing our knight.
I think you are.
Huh. That's not ideal.
Yeah, it looks like it to me. I think you're losing that knight. And probably should play just queen takes c4. I was thinking rook c8, maybe.
This one?
Yeah. I guess queen d5. I was wondering whether I was going to have decent compensation with something like queen d5 and rook c2. Queen d5 and rook c2.
Queen d5 here and rook c2.
Maybe not so silly. I mean, I've maybe got quite decent counterplay. I've got a lot of activity, and I've you know, I'm going to find it hard to challenge black. But it's 2 pawns, you know. I mean, that's definitely quite an investment. But I'm a bit worried that, yeah. Well,
could
maybe
you go there?
Yeah, I'll go bishop g4 maybe, or bishop h3.
And then
yeah, I don't know, bishop e2 or something.
Yeah. So we can get rid of the knight, but then that bishop's just as annoying in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can make a decent case for compensation, you know, there. Yeah. But still, yeah, you know, I mean, it's a bit on the limit, really. I mean, I suppose after bishop g2, instead of c4.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go knight b2, I'll also have takes and c4. So I could just go rook fd8, for example. I mean, that would also be
yeah. Rook fd8. Confirm or disconfirm is saying rook fd8 and then h4.
Maybe I go f6 now. I'm not sure. I think probably should, if you're going to do something rather than h4, I think you should go. I mean, knight b2 is one idea, because obviously, if I take on d2, you take on e5 here. So you know, that might not be that might be a bit irritating. So But I suppose what I could do, I mean, c4 is possible here, which
yeah.
might just start up the whole thing of
Can't take
liquidating pawns, and yeah, this might be all right for black somehow. I mean, I could just play f6, I guess, in some way, just to protect the e5 pawn, and I've still got this pressure on d1, and well, you've still got to defend it, I'm not sure. I mean, it's there's all sorts of things, but it's in principle, black's really just trying to find some sort of accurate way to maintain the balance. I think somehow it hasn't really managed to create any big weaknesses that really hurt white. And that's always the danger with this sort of activity. That you get nice looking pieces, but the opponent just end up giving a lot to the opponent as well.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to look at a chess queen 960 against slow.
That's looking quite good for white.
Now, okay, so the story behind this game is that these two players have already played each other today, same colours, in the women's championship. And we had a very interesting game between them. It was quite close all the way. In the end, Olga was successful.
All right, this is a very sharp.
I'm not going to remember whether it's the same opening or not, though.
A very sharp line, this one. So knight d7, bishop c4. Yeah, in principle, black looks like she's got quite a bit of counterplay along the b file, but yeah, probably rook b8 was better than queen b4. Rook b8 threatening rook takes b2 already, which would have been quite nice. That feels like the most, and then leaving the queen on a5 to decide later where it wants to go. That probably would have been, would have given white something to think about, I think. But queen b4, queen b3, rook b8, rook c1, takes, yeah, knight e5.
Oh, knight e5, look at that.
Yeah, but bishop e2 would just come back. And yeah, queen b3, again, I'd be always looking more to try and keep the queens on there, really. And now somehow, black sort of starts retreating a little bit. It's probably quite difficult because white's got quite a few squares. I mean, the material is equal, but white's got the two bishops and quite a bit of space, and black starts having some problems.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is very nice for white. Probably play f4 here. Not a bad idea. And you lose that pawn on b2, but yeah, you gain a couple of extra tempi to consolidate, and should be a very nice position for white.
I thought black was doing quite well with getting the knight in on e5. I suppose that had to drop back just to defend the pawn on c5, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, black was very active out of the opening, but somehow I think, yeah, this hasn't really made the most of the chances there.
Did you not take on b3?
Yeah, taking on b3 would have been better, I think. But I think probably black was afraid of f4 in this position.
Yeah.
And then we're taking on h5 after. So it's, I mean, it's just it's an unclear position, but it's not. It's not particularly necessarily easy for black. I think the moment was much earlier, really, to get a good position for black. So I think black was doing very well, but I think queen b4 started black on a track that maybe wasn't so good.
Righty, we are going to look at George against Lawrence Spencer.
Yeah, this is, I guess, just kind of an equal position. The Caracan fantasy variation.
Play that.
Fabiano Caruana played it against. Wait a minute. Is it?
No, I'll tell you who played it. Harriet Hunt used to play that.
Indeed. But just in the recent candidates, Caruana played it against Alexenko. So, and that was kind of the main game in that line at the moment. Quite dangerous line, but in principle okay for black. Castling queenside's quite unusual. So takes, knight takes e4, knight df6. Almost looks like it loses something, but rook takes e4, knight e4, queen e6. We just go king b8, queen e4, and queen f7. So that's all fine. Oh, okay. This was a little bit risky. Queen e7, bishop f4, queen e6. Takes knight e5. Okay.
Black's emerging the exchange up here.
Well, no, knight g5 now.
Knight g5.
So yeah, because rook f6, you had bishop d6. I mean, all of it's they will probably want a pawn for black, but not completely clear. Yeah, I mean, black just had to choose the best ending basically, you know, and that was. I don't know whether this is the one actually, because somehow this knight on e6 is dominating quite nicely. So bishop h6. Yeah, we're going king g1. Could also gone g3, king g2. That would have been very natural as well. King f2, and yeah, it's not easy to get at that knight. So
could we go that? Oh, that and that.
Well, you get hit by knight c5 checks. You've got to go b6 first. So it's quite a few moves. You know, that's the point. But you can probably do. I mean, I go king f2 now. You go king c8. Maybe I go g4 afterwards. Just wanted to try and play g5 or something, you know, but maybe it's not so bad. I go b6, and if g5, I can play king d7. You know, that would be completely all right for black. So maybe it is indeed all fine. And after rook e8, king f2, we'll just go king c8, and gradually just emerge with b6, king d7. So yeah, it could be that white just has to play a little bit more.
A
little bit more quietly somehow, but it's interesting. I think maybe going for the rook ending earlier would have been a little bit better. But yeah, interesting position. We're going to see how that goes.
Here's a game that's finished actually, which is
oh, good Lord.
Amir Abbas against Gunslinger.
So, ooh, yeah. Amir Abbas had some great games, but he's also, I think he also lost another quick one with white with his London system with aggressive play, you know, and so interesting.
Well, Gunslinger knows how to do an attack as well, so it's dangerous. Let's see the London system with aggressive play.
An h4 here.
Ah, okay.
I didn't lie. Ooh,
h4 coming now.
So black played e5, which is quite interesting.
Wilsonia must be playing in the quarantine league. Good luck, Wilsonia. 144 move draw.
Good luck, Wilsonia.
Kind of limits the number of games you're going to be playing.
Yeah, this has probably gone a little bit wrong for black already. I'm not quite sure why white didn't take on e5 actually on move 11. That seemed to be all right.
White taking
on e5 on move 11.
Sorry, instead of bishop g5.
Yeah, if I went knight takes e5, I wonder what the plan was.
So I suppose take on g2 is the plan.
Yeah, but you're not really gonna. Things that I'm sure that Amir Abbas would have played this because he's a very aggressive player, and you just get rid of the g2 pawn in front of the king, which gives you the opportunity to go h5 and all that sort of stuff. I'm just wondering whether there was a tactic like knight h5.
Yeah.
Or knight d5 maybe. I don't know.
Let's try that one.
The idea is that if knight d7, I want to go knight takes f4. and after ef4, in an ideal world, I'll go rook e8. I'll take on d7, and maybe, you know, I've got decent, rook e8, there's knight e5, so I can't do that. But I go queen d7, and that's probably decent counter.
I like this for black.
I go rook e8 and all that. It's probably quite decent. Maybe something like that was the idea.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because bishop g5 is quite decent for white. After knight d5, bishop g5. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why white didn't take on e5. I think that would have been that looks like a really sensible move to do somehow. Yeah, okay, but I can. I mean, at least I can take on d7 and go e4 or something. It's quite messy, really. Castles.
Oh, clever. Which way are you castling?
Queenside, I think.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
it's complicated. Yes,
it's complicated. I don't know. It feels like the right. Like there's plenty of options like that. I mean, you know, also after knight d5, I could take on d5 as well. So you know, I just wonder somehow. Just wonder.
Okay.
Looks like a slightly strange move, but
no, I think the problem is if I've done all this, then I've overwritten the game.
You've overwritten the game, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
But I'm not sure. Maybe if you move away and then you come back afterwards, I'm not sure. But
so I move away. There we go. And come back.
No. Maybe you need to close it and then
Go back.
You'll need to search for us and have a look at the game again, I'm afraid.
All right. Should I do that? Ooh, right. Amirabes. A gunslinger 222. There we go. So this is it. Okay, where do we get to?
11 bishop g5.
11 bishop g5.
Yeah, this is very nice for white. This for black rather. So virtually winning, I think. So yeah, it's all gone wrong a bit before that. You're just getting in b5 and c4 here. So
it's nice, isn't it?
Very powerful indeed. So yeah. I mean, probably with the plan that that white played, he should have played e4 himself in the center, on move 13 then.
Yeah.
So just to so back on move 13, if you played rather than castles, if you just played 13 e4, then that would have probably been a very sensible move.
Now I'm worried about getting back to all my other games because I'm following a million people. Let's see. Yes.
You get them all back. You get them all back, don't worry.
That's good. Okay, so next one. Phil Brooks, have we done that yet?
Yeah, we did that before. We should go back to the top.
Let's go back to Mickey. Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about taking on e5, weren't we? This kind of thing.
So yeah, this is so takes bishop b5, knight b5, and then a6, which I haven't seen before, but that's maybe not too surprising. So bishop e3, knight d7, then e6, just looking to damage the structure. So takes. We get this ending, castles, king c7, and now king b1. I don't know. This is not very easy to make something of this for Michael, really.
So he's got a pawn, but he's got double pawns.
Yeah, it's just I mean, the thing is, white's just very well developed. So I mean, rook d5 is the first idea, followed by rook d1, is getting into the 7th rank. So I mean that's already quite worrying. And if you go rook d8, then I've got bishop b6 check, of course. So you know, that's just absolutely awful. So yeah, I mean, I guess you've got to go e6 really. But to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I mean, after e6, I've got 2 moves, both of which frighten me enormously. I mean, rook d3 simply followed by rook c1 check.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, black looks lost to me.
Oh God, do you think so? Okay, so
well, I'm presumably overreacting, but still, I mean, I don't know how you keep this together.
So we're talking e6 now, yeah?
Yeah, e6 now. And I'll go less. I mean, bishop f4 check could be very strong as well, but rook d3 simply. I'll go rook d3. I'm just threatening rook c1. I'm threatening rook c1 or rook d1, basically.
All right, so let's artificially castle.
Yeah, rook c1 check.
Oh, you got a bishop a7 at the end, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right.
I think rook a6 maybe is possible. And I'm going to try and block on d6. It might be the bishop f4 check earlier was, but I can go rook d1 for example.
Rook d1 here.
Yeah, threatening rook d7. So rook d6, I've got bishop f4. So you go bishop d6. And now this is the question. Obviously, rook d6, bishop f4. There's rook d8. And I guess that I'm not going to be able to improve that. That is probably true. So this might be. It's not a very pleasant pin, but it probably looks okay. So after rook a6, this is where we need to see whether we can find something.
Yeah.
I mean, I could play rook c1 check here.
Yeah, that's a bit scary, isn't it?
Well, no, I go rook
c6.
Yeah, and after bishop f4 check, I go. If I go king b6, then there's rook d7, which is really, again,
here
annoying at the very least. But I can go king c8 maybe.
You're just going to take on here, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go f6, but I've got bishop e3 check from what. I mean, you know, it's just all. It's all a bit. It's really. I mean, I've almost got mate actually because after f6, I go bishop e3 check.
Yeah.
King a6.
Here you go.
Rook c6 check. Yeah, and rook a7.
Yeah.
So that's quite nasty. So, but after bishop f4 check, he goes back to c8. In actual fact.
Here we go back to here.
Yeah. I mean, I can go rook d1 then. Maybe I can play bishop e7, rook d7, and then rook e8.
Yeah, it's all fine.
Mm.
What are you worried about?
Yeah, impossible. So certainly rook d3, rook a6, but maybe instead of rook d3 then.
Look, black can go here, here, and there.
Lovely. Congratulations, I should say. Yeah, I mean you'll gradually emerge with black, but I mean you're not even going to be better there. You know, I mean you're a pawn up, but it's a terrible pawn on b5. So yeah. I don't know. I'm just, you know, obviously I'm not quite looking at it objectively. I'm looking at more from the think of you know, Mickey's needs a win really, you know, to keep up to get into a good position for the British, and this is not really what he's looking for. I mean, if anyone can do it, he can. I mean, that's not in doubt at all. But I just would have thought, there's so many better ways of doing this somehow than choosing this opening. But after king b1, anyway, e6. Let's just have a look at that because we have bishop f4 as well. So e6, bishop f4 check is possible.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to think where my king should go. Because I mean, king b6, I've got rook d7. which is, not pleasant. Well, yeah, that's a real understatement. That's really nasty. I'm just going to go rook c1 afterwards, and just get my rooks across. So, it's very nasty, this one. So after bishop f4 check, what I was thinking was that we could go king c6.
What about here? Do we get...
Yeah, okay, but I'll go rook f7 then, for example.
And then here.
Yeah, you just want to... yeah. Bishop c7, king c6. Okay, so rook d7, bishop c5. Let's have a little look. Rook d7, bishop c5. Rook c1. Okay, I'll go rook c1 then. Let's just do that one first.
Okay. Well, I better not put a rook on d8.
No, that one's got to be avoided.
It's all right. Just defend.
All right.
Well, you're going to go b4, are you?
Well, obviously, I'm tempted with ideas here.
Maybe more sensible would be something like that.
Possible, but I can take on f7, I suppose.
And then I go this.
Yeah.
This is only playing for a draw, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I can go bishop c7 check or something, maybe, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just really again, it's all sort of. I'm thinking, where are the winning chances here at all for black? And to be honest, you've got to be accurate to make sure you don't end up in a much worse position. So
yeah.
But I was just wondering after bishop f4 check whether I could play king c6. I don't know.
So bishop f4 check, king c6.
Just to try and well, I was vaguely thinking, if rook c1, king b6. If you go rook c7, then I've maybe got moves like g5, to try and.
What about bishop c7?
Well, these are worries as well. Bishop c7, king a6. I suppose I'll claim.
Can I?
Well, you can't get to a3, so I'm probably. But I mean, rook hd1. Is again. You sort of say. It's a sort of ending that if I got this as white, I'd say, well, with compensation, stop analysing and say I'll be happy to play this in a game. It's that sort of thing, really. So. Basically,
right. So
basically, in terms of effort that black has to make, both to hold the game first of all, and then also to retain some sort of chances for white to go wrong. I mean, it's a huge strain. It's a very big effort, and yeah, I mean, I think you can definitely say that the Paul Dargan's opening, the B22 C3 Sicilian man,
Sicilian has been a big success.
Yeah, it's been a real success. I mean, you can't,
Maybe Mickey hasn't actually been following the commentaries and doesn't know about B22 C3 Sicilian.
It could be.
It's possible.
But I think it could also be, what I said, that Mickey knows it from the white side and sort of thinks, okay, against the sharp main lines, I've got lots of good stuff, and then just forgot a little bit that there's also a lot of quite equal stuff that can't really be played very easily for a win, which is really what he needs today, to keep on. To keep in the hunt for the title. I mean, it's not that it's over if he draws, but you're playing an opponent 600 points lower rated than you. When you're on board 2 in the British Championship, it's a lovely, it should be seen as an opportunity, and also, of course, for the white player, fantastic opportunity to play one of Britain's greats as well. So but for the just from the professional point of view, you say, okay, this is a chance that's been given to me. How are we going to make the most of it? And really, this sort of opening is not really doing not really making letting Michael show all of his qualities yet. He's just having to struggle in order to to keep anything alive, so that he'll be able to display those qualities. So
yeah, FM Mass is asking about rook c7, then rook f7, and then bishop c7. I mean, I suspect this is also going to be good for white. And yeah,
I mean, it looks like like black's got I said winning. That was probably an emotional reaction, but I'm just looking at all sorts of ways. You think white's really got a very good chance of coming out of this with just a very pleasant. Oh, and white's has played rook d3.
Played rook d3. Okay. Yeah. So we will see how this develops. Let's in the meantime look at Peshka the Great.
What's happened there? That's a bit of a mess.
Right, where were we before?
We were just after
early, weren't we?
bishop b3, 10 bishop b3.
Yes.
Drop it. Oh, he got sharp. Black decided that he wasn't just going to sit around and watch his light squares get taken over. He went for it. Now, in principle, I would have said normally that this was not such a great idea with that knight on a1, but it's actually quite sneaky what Black's done, because he's getting the pawn back on b2, and then afterwards everything's escaping. So very interesting.
I was thinking Black might castle long.
Yeah, I was also
maybe this is better and getting.
I was also wondering whether white might castle long to try and get to that knight on a1.
White short castles.
Queen c2, queen e3. That'd be 3, queen b6, knight c5. These are quite natural moves. I don't know whether they're the best ones, but they are all quite natural, and now quite crucial now, I suppose. White's got to do something, because I mean, if white doesn't do something now, then black's just going to keep on taking pawns. That's the problem. There's queen a4 to b5. I mean, there's even a move like queen b3, which is starting to get a bit worrying about how am I going to avoid the exchange of queens in the long run? So we need something here. But I'm actually not very sure what white has got here.
And also, black could think about king f8 and king g8.
Yeah, that's also
picking up the bishop. Yeah, okay. So it could be good for black, this one.
Yeah, I don't see very easily what white's doing here. And obviously this bishop on h8 is actually a very bad piece. I mean, you're looking at stuff like bishop e5 or knight e5, but it doesn't really look very convincing at all. It might be what you have to do, but in principle, I think black should be doing very well there. So yeah, maybe knight takes c5 is the move that you've got to do. It's possible, but rook e1, okay, setting it up. I was actually wondering about but then that's yes, no, that's the point. F6 maybe.
F6
possible. So just to block that bishop in on h8 and threaten king f7, that's and then if you go bishop takes f6, I go knight d7. That's the big point.
With a fork.
Yeah, and then queen b7, rook b8, and then you just emerge with with a very solid extra piece there. So
so black's piece is looking better at the moment.
I think black's quite a bit better there actually. So
All right, I've noticed checkmate a lot has a win. So that happened. I'm not going to do any analysis this time. This is the birds. Okay, checkmate a lot.
There is no need for any analysis. Checkmate a lot played the birds, and he won, and it's just logical. That's the point.
Right, where were we up to? We had done b3.
We said knight e8, and we said is checkmate a lot going to play h4, or is he going to play castles? A bit earlier, Natasha.
There we go.
Castles. Yeah.
Oh, That's an exchange.
That is an exchange indeed. Yeah. Oh, very nice from Peter. Just bringing the king out and then careering on the G file.
Yeah.
Black resigned here. Yeah, I guess we can take on f5, but rook ag1 is also quite strong. So yeah, quite a few good moves there.
Okay. So let's go back to McCarthy, Stone, and Freddie the mate. Okay, so when we left this, black had quite a promising attack.
Indeed.
So where were we? What number?
18.
18. So
yeah, this was, yeah, we were thinking about Queen d2 here. Queen d2 or even Knight e5 were the moves that we were looking at.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them quite very interesting. You know, probably Queen d2 would have been my choice, but yeah, all of them very interesting. But
these Queen f2 threats.
Yeah, it looks like the simplest one, really. You know, just Queen d2 and then let White decide how on earth he's going to deal with the threats. But Bishop d5 was played. E takes d5. It's a bit annoying, that one, because the Queen reestablishes control over e3. You know, that's why I didn't like it immediately. So Queen f4, Queen e2, Knight b6, but it's still quite difficult for White here. G3, Queen d6. So Black's going to win a pawn. I mean, that's definitely clear. So
this knight still looks better than the bishop at the moment.
Indeed, yeah. No, so that's why Johnny Payne played c3.
Yeah.
D takes c3. Then you can't take on c3 because of knight takes c3. So he went bishop a1. And, well, I mean, you sort of feel this is definitely, there should definitely be a win here somewhere, you feel. But you've got to find it. And obviously it's not 100% easy, this. So, so what happened here in actual fact?
You kind of want to keep that diagonal blocked if you can.
Yeah, so Black played c4, which it all feels good. Takes on c4, Queen b6.
Check.
Queen b6, Queen c5. I'm not sure. Knight e3. So that's quite a nice move because the rook can't leave the back rank because of Queen b1. You know, that's one of the points of Queen b6. So rook e1 was played.
Oh, you feel like there still should be something, don't you?
Yeah, I think all credit to Johnny Payne for staying afloat here, because it looks like it should be
Queen c6 I'd look at. Or...
Yeah, King g1 is played then. Oh,
there must be something. King g1. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. c2
was played, which again looks very powerful. Bishop b2 was played. And now what you do wonder about as a possible move,
Knight d1.
Well, yeah, that was what I was thinking. Knight d1. Just got to watch out that you don't get any. There's no bishop g7s or anything like that, or queen e7s, which might be. You've got to calculate that accurately, and I'm not 100% sure about it. I mean, what Black played looked very sensible, right? I mean, Queen takes b2,
takes,
take
h6, gives the king an escape.
Yeah, very, very sensible. Rook c1 played, and now would maybe something like Rook d8 have been very strong here?
Maybe.
Yeah, that would have been strong, I think. Well, White plays King g2.
So I can do analysis on this one. It's not finished. It'll only mess up if the game finishes while I'm there. So where were we? So it's gone to
Rook c1, 30 Rook c1.
Rook c1. So we're looking at Rook d8.
Yeah, but then you're throwing Rook d1, you're throwing Queen c1, but White goes King g2 then. And the problem is that Rook d1 will disallow Queen e8 and Queen e4. That's the bit of the problem. But now Could I maybe go Queen A2? Could I do that? And you go Queen E4 or Queen E2 to pick up the pawn on C2. Not 100% clear. Well, I mean, you know, obviously a good ending for white. I mean, black's a pawn up, but yeah, you really do feel that there should have been something.
Hi, Checkmate a lot. We just saw your game just now with the birds opening.
Indeed, there should have been something. There should have been something, but I haven't seen it. Nothing's jumped out at me looking at it. So obviously not, yeah, or you know. Missable in any case. Let's just say it that way. So okay. I mean, black took on A2, which is a good practical decision, I think. Queen E2, Rook C8, Rook C2, Queen A3, C5. Again, using those perpetual opportunities. King D4, Queen F3, Queen D7, Rook B2, Rook C7, Queen E4. Yeah, and white sort of.
Why can't black play Queen B1 instead of Queen A2 is the question.
Can I have a look?
Here, Queen B1.
Yeah, I guess we'll go King G2. It's pretty much the same, I think. We're sort of... I mean, we can go, you know, Rook D8 or something like that, and
why do we have to move the queen at all?
Sorry.
Why do we have to move the queen at all? Actually,
we don't have to move the queen at all. That's why we're saying Rook D8.
What about Rook C8?
Rook C8 is possible.
To try and just take that one.
Yeah. I mean, I can go Queen D2 here.
Queen D2. Are you going to come up with some sequence that forks my rook?
Yeah.
Typical. Yeah.
I mean, I think Rook D8 is not bad, to be honest. I think playing Rook D8, King G2. So no, yeah. So Rook D8 there. We've got it already on there. King G2.
Oh, checkmate. Oh, wait. Checkmate lot's got another answer. Why not Rook C4 anyway, even though you are forking my rook?
Queen D8 check. King H7, Queen D3.
Are you just going to do perpetual? No.
Well, you can go G6, I think, is what Checkmate lot's claiming. Because you can go back to G7 and cover, which may indeed be very sneaky. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Checkmate a lot. You're right. You're right. So
Rook C8 might have been another way.
Rook C8 might have been another way indeed.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there should be some ways of keeping control there, certainly.
Yes. All right. So this is what is happening.
Yeah, we've got down to Queen E4.
Okay, and let's just flick back to the game in case they played any more moves. It's Frederick the mate and McCarthy Stone.
Oh, that's looking like that's gone quite well, hasn't it?
So we were sorry, we were a bit further than that. Here?
Yeah, Queen E4 was played. Rook takes C5. Oh, that was cleverly spotted because the king has to come. Rook C2 check was played. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, probably. Well, Queen C2 would have been probably my choice. What is that queen ending?
So Queen C2. Obviously, Queen B7.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very good for black, but probably a bit of a chore to win it actually, because the black king's a little bit exposed somehow. But okay. But white played King F3, which was very brave because we're going King D1.
Wow! Oh my goodness! Let's see this.
Queen D1. Yeah, Johnny Payne again. Yeah, it's Johnny Payne, isn't it? So he
is brave, but This,
Yeah.
I'd be worried though here because the major piece is coming in.
Yeah, no, you're just getting mated here. But the key point is rook e2. There's rook b8 check.
Oh, well, I was going to say, why not that?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's going back. So queen a1 check.
Yeah. And this is where we are. So how is this?
Well, I mean, it must be winning for black, you would have thought. But
let's just quickly look at this because it's very crucial.
The confusion factor is very high.
Right. So we have to move our king.
Indeed.
All right. So let's say king here.
Ooh, all right. Rook d2 check, I think. I could also try the flashy rook f5 check, but that wouldn't be any good. So rook d2 check.
Yeah. All right. Whose side are we playing for here? We think black's going to win. Maybe I should be playing the black side.
Okay, so instead I'll go king d6 then instead of
king d5. So king d6 here.
Hard day at work, and then all you get is play this, play this losing position.
Black has lost king star. That's outrageous. Might be true, but it's outrageous. Okay, so okay. You're gonna win this game, and I don't know why I'm letting myself in for this stuff.
Let's
go. Hang on. What about you could do queen? Anyway, queen a6 might have been good as well.
You can only play one move at a time, Natasha. But if you want to play,
right, so I'm going to go queen a6 then, just for.
If you want to change your move, that's totally fine by me.
What do you want to do?
I'll go king e7.
Yeah, you're going to make me fall for the same trap. King e7. So I can't go rook e2 still because of the same reason. All right. Well, Frederick the Mate has already won, I have to say. Which is actually big news.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look what he did.
Very, very strong. All right. Did you want to see the actual game?
Yeah, let's see the actual
Rather than my attempt to win the game. Okay.
Oh, that's very nice.
So where were we?
The queen a1 check. That's where we were.
Queen a1 check.
Yeah, black played queen d4 and now got beautifully skewered here with queen h1 check.
Oh yes, and the rook on b7 falls.
That was very nice. That was very nice.
Gosh, well done, young Frederick the Mate.
Indeed.
Yes.
Very good game. Very well played.
Very good game. All right, who didn't we see yet? Schlock Verma against Drunken Knight. We haven't seen for a little while.
Yeah, so this was where White played d5 early in the opening and swapped off the isolated queen's pawn.
We had a lot of things taking, so there we go.
And yeah, just proceeds bishop c6. That's a little bit dodgy, especially when you've played a4. It's a very risky move to do because you can't put the pawn on b3, so d4 is going to be weak all the time there. But okay, White played bishop c5, rook b8, knight d4, rook b2, takes king f8, rook fc1, rook b7. So White's got made things a little bit uncomfortable for himself there. And actually, there's a really huge threat of just rook bc7 and bishop d7 now. Which I'm not quite sure how White should deal with, to be honest with you.
Right, he's going to have a think about this then.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about it, if I go rook bc7 and then bishop d7, I've got the tactic knight e5 to get out of jail. So presumably, well, Black's got to play f6 and then.
Yeah.
I know even that doesn't work actually. So, so it's not going to be quite as easy as all that to get the knight. But still, yeah. I mean, I guess White should probably play f3 and king f2 then, and just
Yeah, get the king out.
I don't know whether you should play a5 first, maybe. Maybe you should play f3 and after rook bc7 go a5, maybe. Just to make sure you don't get your pawn put on a light square. And then black's got to work out how to win this knight. It's not easy. Bishop d7 allows knight e5.
Well, maybe we go around the way now that it's like that.
Bishop b3. Is that going to be... We'll go bishop b3 round to a4. That is probably a better path. Bishop b3. Yeah, that's going to be a better path. That's going to be more difficult. Maybe I should just go. Maybe I should go f3. Maybe I should stop there. I should just go f3, rook bc7, and then rook 1 c3. Maybe. Just to stop you playing bishop b3. Very tight. I mean, you're just surviving. You're really just surviving on tactics there. I mean, if you want to get your rook free, you could go, rook 5 c2 and knight d4. But then there's a big risk of getting of things being taken off, and then bishop b3 forks the remaining knight on c2 and pawn on a4. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's really going to be depend very much on tactics whether white's surviving this or not.
So f3, bishop b2, bishop b3 first.
No, knight a5 then.
And knight a5.
You've got to go rook bc7 first.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
trying to avoid it.
And then, well, yeah, okay, but it's your main threat though. And then, yeah, if I go a5, then probably bishop b3 is going to be good. It looks like.
Oh, well played, Ocelot. Came 5th in League 5B. Fantastic.
Hey, brilliant. Well played. Well played.
For people who don't know, there's every Thursday and Sunday there's a match against other teams in the league, and English chess players have a team in it. So do join. Think about joining that after the online British is over. Okay, let's just check back in on Nutflush and Mickey, because we were having a little look at that position. We were finding it quite tricky for Mickey.
Yeah, I think we basically got what we were looking at, more or less. So rook a6 was played, then bishop f4, king c8. Yeah, we mentioned this. Bishop c5, played by Mickey. Are we looking at bishop e7? That was bishop e7 was your idea to...
bishop c5 was my idea.
No, bishop e, in this position, bishop e7, rook d7, rook e8. And then you said that black could emerge with f6 and e5. But bishop c5 is also possible. Rook d7, rook c6, rook f7, and rook f8. Takes, bishop e5, g6, f3. Yeah, what can you say? White is just better here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I imagine that Mickey will, would simply hold this, of course. But it's going to be. It would be it would be an awesome performance if you manage to win this, because the number of pawn weaknesses that you've got. It's even if you could imagine winning a pawn in a rook and pawn ending, you still have lots of so many weaknesses that it would be very difficult. So yeah, going to be a tough one. Going to be a tough one.
We're going to look at Hebs against Whimsical Jam. Oh, what happened there?
Yeah, so that's just a win for
white. And we were looking at it all. There was a castle queenside business, wasn't there? Oh, that was ages ago.
Yeah, there've been a lot of moves since. Yeah, there we are. And white's won. So yeah, well done, Mark. Well done. Hard luck with Jam, but yeah, obviously playing against a very strong player there. So well played, Mark. Just a rough time last few rounds, but has come back swinging with a win in the Bishop G5 Sicilian. So Nidal Sicilian. So doesn't get much sharper than that.
Okay, let's see Shavs against Tactic Monster.
All righty. So what have we got here? So white is actually a pawn up. So yeah, we saw this position. It was quite a sharp one. But black sacrificed a pawn early on for a grip on d3, but it wasn't really clear how it was going to get through, and somehow white's emerged here with an extra pawn.
Hi, Peter.
But not a very easy one to defend. And this move g4 is really risky. Might be good, but it's really risky because white's king was nice and safe, but now it isn't. So I think anything could happen here. And this rook on e5 is very well placed to swing over to g5. So I'm a little bit ever so slightly concerned about this. Now I guess that the white's idea here is to play rook takes e4. Getting that rook active, and then after rook takes c5, we can just take and rook e7. So that is possible. I mean, well, actually, you could even take the bishop on g4. So I suppose after rook e4, we're going to we've got a couple of moves. We could play rook g5, threatening bishop f3, or we could play rook takes e4, and then do something like bishop h3. Both of which, don't seem that shabby for black. I suppose here you might go f4 maybe. Possible. But then I go rook takes c5 maybe.
This rook, of course.
Yeah, I'm actually all sorts of possibilities, but let's say that rook. Takes and takes. How is that? You're not attacking the bishop on g4 anymore. That was the idea, but it could be that I'll go if I go king h6, you go queen a7, and then you hide on h2. So that's possibly
we're over the worst, aren't we, for white?
Possibly going to be very good for white there indeed. So okay, so not so maybe after rook e4, let's just take on e4. Let's just because it looks like f4 is a decent idea. So let's just take on e4, bishop e4, and go bishop h3, for example.
Okay.
Bishop e2. Bishop e2 actually even is not so silly.
Bishop e2.
Even I don't know. Just you're
looking to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just to go queen g4. You know, I'm not quite sure which one is the best there, but it's just that after bishop g4, I was thinking, oh, maybe white goes white goes f3 and stops you coming in. Whereas here after f3, I go queen h3, you know, and the attack keeps on coming. So
it does look a bit scary to me. So what if we put something on the fourth row so that once you go queen g4, we can go bishop g2? I know then we'll lose the thing we've put on the fourth row, won't we?
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, bishop g2, queen g4 looks quite a little bit annoying. I mean, it's not like winning. I mean, you could do something maybe like f4, and then after bishop f3, you cover on the second rank. But yeah, I don't know. There's some sort of feeling that you've got quite a bit of play, you know, with black. It's not clear. I mean, maybe if I just went bishop g2 here, maybe that's.
Do we have to go rook e4? Because I don't like the look of this, I have to say.
Well, yeah. I'm just sort of wondering what else I can do there.
Because here the bishop's blocking off that. Oh, you're still going to go bishop e2 and queen g4, maybe. So what about c6?
Oh, I don't know. Bishop f3 maybe, or I
was just going to try and I wanted to slow it down with like rook. Does that slow it down?
Not really. I'll just take it. Oh, pardon me. And then go queen d7.
Yeah. Doesn't help.
No. I think you've got to go in. You've got to embrace the adventure. I think once you've gone g4, then you've got to. I think you've really got to go for rook e4. Probably it's fine. I mean, probably you know, with good defense, it's fine for white. And I mean, he is a pawn up, so and a big c pawn as well. So you know, it's all about whether black can make something of this. But maybe you know, rook e4, bishop e4. If I go bishop e2, maybe I just go bishop g2, maybe. Yeah, queen g4, and then I could play
e4.
E4. E4 could be a fun move.
Defending across here.
Well.
That's how to do it.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's a good move. That's a good move. I was looking at rook d7 to d3, but then afterwards we got queen e7. Yeah, that looks pretty. Pretty decent. So maybe we should go bishop h3 then instead of bishop e2, and just try and stop. Yeah, 34 bishop h3. It's there in the variations.
That one there.
Yeah.
We've blocked.
Yeah, but I was thinking of f3 then, just to keep the queen out of g4. Yeah, not sure. I feel like queen b8, for example, just for the sheer hell of it, just to threaten rook takes c5 and then queen g3 check. There's counterplay. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure, but it's you sort of feel there's going to be twists and turns in this game because it's what White done is pretty risky, really.
Alrighty, let's check back in on Phil Brooks against Ollie Stubbs.
Yeah, very solid. Ooh, pardon me. Rook takes g3. Yeah, I mean, black can play b5 and stop the white knight from coming to c4. And then I think that black's pieces look a little bit better, actually. I think you're maybe going to play that knight a6 round to b4, and that could start causing some problems on the c file.
Don't know why that removes my guess. There we go.
So that could be quite a good move. I mean, white can also play a move like rook g2, threatening rook g6. That's also possible. King h7, queen g1, really try and do that. But queen c7, interesting. I mean, I guess I'll play rook hg2 now for white anyway, just to get that rook active. I guess you'll go king h7 to defend the pawn on g6. And then, yeah. Then it's kind of a question about white's pieces aren't super. Well, maybe I should just go knight c4 then, and after b5 go knight e3, or am I allowing I'm allowing some mates. I'm allowing knight takes b3. Oh, that's yeah, I think black's doing quite nicely here. I think yeah, black's doing nicely here. I think I mean, I think we're even threatening knight a4 at the moment, followed by queen c3. Yeah. Which would be which is going to be mating, I think. So I think yeah, I think this is pretty strong.
Yeah. All right. We're going to look at cute puppy and I'm a pickle. We didn't see this game at all yet, I think.
Indeed.
So double rook and pawn end game.
So I just seen that Peshka the Great has lost to
we'll have a look at that in a second. Yep.
So king a1. So what can we do here? Bum bum bum. Cute puppy offered a draw. Yeah, I mean, rook a3 check must surely be quite good. b3 is also going to be quite good. Big problem is that you can't really get off the.
This king's a bit constrained.
Yeah, the ranks there. I mean, if you go rook takes g4, then I'll probably go b2 then. So rook e1 check. I'll probably go round to d5, I guess.
Yeah, definitely looks like black's.
Yeah, black's well on top and probably winning. I think this one.
All right, let's see Peshka the Great. Let me see if I can see it.
Just below there.
Okay, so now this was looking fine for white, wasn't it, when we saw it before?
Well, no, it was looking quite difficult actually. After queen b6, knight c5, rook e1, f6 was played. Actually, the line I pointed out was played. So 20 rook e1, f6, Bishop f6, knight d7, queen b7, rook
Oh,
b8.
the rook. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Queen a7, knight f6, and that was basically
Okay.
that was basically that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
nice finish there. So yeah, hard luck, Peshka the Great. That was yeah.
Okay.
Well played, Black.
Yep. All right. Do we see?
Oh yeah, okay. So Bishop
H3
h3 was played. Ooh, there's tactics. Tactics Monster is bringing out the tactics. So we said Bishop rook e4 was played.
This is going to come in here.
Bishop
Okay, yeah,
h3.
we did have this rook e4. We were looking at that.
So takes Bishop h3 was
We were
played.
looking at that. We were looking at that. F5, yes.
F5 was played by Tactics Monster. So Queen c3 check, King h7, Bishop d5, and now the lovely move Queen d8, hitting d5, d5, and g5.
That square.
Yeah, so some difficulties. Well, I mean, it's just very unclear.
Horrendous, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, if we go something like Queen e5.
Yep. I need a board, I think. Queen e5, Queen g5.
King f2. King e1.
How's this?
Well, unfortunately, you can get. Unfortunately, I was assuming I was escaping here, but you could actually just give a queen there. Oh well, I could go back to d1 after, I suppose. So yeah, yeah, Queen f1 check, King d2, Queen f2. I can't really run, I don't think. Queen f2 check. I can't run because King d3. There's Bishop f1, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But I can probably go back to d1. Actually, I think.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Ah, no, I go rook d7 there, don't I? Sorry, I'm missing a key point. And after c6, there's queen takes f3 check, which I hadn't fully appreciated. So, I mean, that's not. Is that 100% clear?
Yeah.
King e1, I go queen h1 check, probably.
You do.
Black's not going to be losing anyway.
King e1. King e1. You can't go here.
Oh no, I can't. So rook d, okay, but then rook d5, queen. Sorry, rook d5, queen e7 was what I was wondering about. That's why I was looking for something else. King h6, queen h4 check. Yeah, but I can probably. Well, I could. I was thinking take c7, and then I have to go f4, and then yeah. It's just a winning rook ending, I suppose. That's just getting a bit pessimistic about stuff. But no, that's just c8 queen takes and f3 or fe or rook e5. It should just be winning. That should be fine. Not f3, probably rook e5 is the best, I think. Just bringing up the e pawn.
Yeah.
So yeah. But okay. I mean, all this is whatever it is. It's just incredibly fraught for white. So this is going to be a toughie. It's all gone a bit risky, really.
Right. Well, we're going to check in on then the chess queen 9-6 against Slow Sloth. So this is the second time they've played today, with Olga winning this morning. So we have to cheer, I think, for Tashika so that it's 1-1. Okay, and it's looking good for. Oh, I can't work it out actually. No, White's given up a rook for this, and we'll win a rook back, I guess.
Yeah, no, the material's going to be. It should be a good rook ending for White, I think. So if King f8, we can go Bishop takes c8, Rook takes c8, Rook h8 check.
So here, Bishop c8, Rook takes c8.
Rook h8, Rook h8, Rook h8.
Sorry. Let's not do that. Let's do Rook h8 and pick up the rook.
Weaning. So,
By the way, if you want to see the earlier game, there was a commentary of it by John Ems and Chris Ward, so you can see the playback on the channel. Yeah.
So probably after rook h, probably after bishop c8, you have to wait a minute. So bishop d7 check. You should maybe need to go king d8 after bishop d7 check.
Yeah, king d8.
But
then I'm thinking maybe just take that bishop.
Yeah, I can go rook cb8 then. That's the only thing, and I'm that's possible. I mean, it's all possible. I could also just take on c8. I was just thinking in terms of, and then after rook c8, I go rook h8 check, king takes, and then rook h6.
King here.
Yeah, and then rook h6. And if king c6, I've got rook f6 and then rook f5 afterwards, and you know, that should be a winning rook ending for white, probably. Okay, so looking good for white. Looking good for white, I think, this position, but yeah, requires some precision. Right, we better check back in on Mickey. As Apeza says, it's a bit of pressure here for Mickey to handle. Indeed, yeah. I think Mickey's gonna hold this fine. Yes. So now, where were we? I don't think it really matters that much. Yeah. It's just sort of random moves, really. Random improving moves. Yeah, I mean, you know, white's got a better structure, but I mean, where are you going to create a passed pawn? It's not really very easy to see. You know, that's the problem. And black's rook is active, so you know, I wouldn't expect white to be able to do very much. But this should also be, you know, this should be just completely safe for white, basically. You know, that's the thing. So maybe king e2 is a decent move. Maybe thinking about playing g4. That's possible. But yeah. Bishop b4. Question for you. Would you want to swap bishops? Yeah, wouldn't do any harm. Wouldn't do any harm. For black. For white. White would want some bishops. Yeah, I probably with black, I'd probably just try and keep the bishops. It's just if you've got a pretty solid structure like this. I mean, my bishop's also quite nice. It all my pawns are on the other color, so you know, it's yeah. Then it's just quite a, you know, a nice thought just to. I definitely keep the rooks on with white, probably. You know, I'd because that feels nice and active. You know, I wouldn't necessarily look to swap off rooks, but yeah. As I said, you know, it's I really think that you know, white should be very comfortable here. The thing is, it was a slightly strange move, bishop b4, because that might give black the opportunity to put the bishop on e5, but okay, you know, I mean, that's oh, what, straight away? Well, straight away, that might fail to g4. Isn't it this way though? Yeah. Bishop b6. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because then you might want to be going rook across. Yeah. But I'll go. I mean, white can just go bishop c3 now, and you know, I just think white's just got to keep it tight to the back and make simple moves. And I think, you know, the only plan I can really think of for white is to go king e2 and then g4. You know, and try and open up the king side a little bit. But I don't think it's leading to that much, really. But that would be the best try, I think. You know, king e2, g4, and then maybe try and get a little bit of action in there. But yeah, as I said, you know, I think it's really more or less even. Alrighty, Schlock against Drunken. Yay! So Chris actually picked up the pawn on a4. And yeah, now this is just a winning ending now with an outside pass pawn against the knight. So shouldn't be too difficult for Chris. Just bishop d7, and then well, you could even decide. I mean, do you even need to push the pawn? Maybe you can just move the king over to e5 and f4. Depends a bit what white does, but yeah. But you'll tie white up with a passed pawn, and then afterwards just you won't be able to stop black's king from invading somehow on the king side.
Okay, looking good for the drunken knight here.
Yeah, I guess Chris is probably thinking, actually, just thinking about it, about maybe actually he should play bishop f1, just to move the pawn forwards a little bit, and then he'll go back h3 to d7, and just you know, then it's even easier maybe to loosen up the pawns. But I mean, there's many ways of playing it. It's just very good for white, for black.
Righty. Phil Brooks, Oliver Stubbs. So this one, we were looking at whether black could. We were looking at sacrifices for black, weren't we?
Yeah. White's actually moved, did something correct, which was to move the knight from d2 to e3. So that's kind of helped against the old sacrifices. But it's even though I have to say this is not very clear. Oh, could we just we could have a look, couldn't we? Because we can go knight a4 here. We go knight a4 here.
So let's say we just take it.
Actually, it's knight b3. Knight b3 might be even stronger, actually. But okay, let's just do it. Bishop a4.
Actually, we've got at least winning the piece back, even if whatever, haven't we? Oh no, no, not necessarily.
No, it's queen b3, but bishop a4. Bishop a4.
Bishop a4. So what? Queen c1.
Well, then I've got queen b6 check.
Then we do have this, and that's that's really the end. Okay, so you can't do that. So all right, what else? Queen d. Queen d3. You've got bishop e3 at least.
Queen b6 check actually is.
Yeah. So is this just winning?
Well, it's queen d2 here. The line I was looking at was queen b6 check, king a1, and rook c2.
Yeah, because it's pinned. This is pinned.
It's pinned. Well, yeah, not well. I mean, if knight c2, I go queen b2 mate. That's
true as well.
So it's not really it's not quite the pin really, but yeah. Which looks pretty terminal. I mean, one thing you've got though, which I haven't calculated, is rook b1. But then I can take and go rook d2. So that's easy.
Yeah, this is good enough. Okay, so this knight a4 idea looks really strong.
Yeah, it looks actually winning, I think.
You don't have to take it though, I suppose.
No.
So what would you do? Move the queen. Queen here.
Knight c3 check.
Knight c3 would have to go here.
Knight e2.
Yeah. And queen c1. So that doesn't work either. So this looks pretty okay. What about? Oh no, you can't do that. So this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's completely stuffed. I think, yeah.
All right, let's just go back to the game and see if he's. I think he's still having a think. Yeah, he's.
Hey!
Well done, Ollie Stubbs.
Well done, Ollie Stubbs. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we saw that. Looking at the queen d2 played, yeah, knight c3 check and take c2 is the.
Just to say, Mickey's game is now finished. They agreed a draw. So that means Keith will be in the lead going into tomorrow.
Excellent, yeah. Hard luck, Mickey. Very well played, Paul Dargan. Excellent. And but we knew which opening you were going to play. We knew which opening shouldn't be played against you. The B-22 bomber.
We said Mickey shouldn't play the Sicilian.
Indeed, indeed.
Right. We kind of said that. So, right.
Whoa! I mean, Tactics Monster is carrying on his record of having extraordinary games. You've got to say. I mean, they've really been they've been complete thrillers. You know, the game he drew with Hebs, the game that he had against who was it yesterday? But this incredibly thrilling Rook and Bishop versus Queen ending that turned around, you know, very unluckily for Aryan, but it was a great game. So
he played Obama yesterday.
Oh, that's right, and this one's very exciting as well. But seeming to go, I would have thought that it's going Black's way, this one. So, but still anything but clear, of course, about how to get this one, how to put that one away.
Ocelot Bishop C4. This was the previous game. Then there was I think there was a Knight C3 check with a horrible fork.
Indeed, yeah. So okay, so but what's going to happen here? Are we going King C5 now?
Let's see. So King C5.
These games are exhausting. There's so many.
There's a lot of crazy games. Good games today. I really like the games today. So
I don't know. I think this was a move you really shouldn't have allowed, King C5.
Can we take on E3? Well, then we're going to worry about this pawn queening.
Yeah, I'm just going to. I mean, C7 is really C7 is really worrying. I think you really needed to you know, to check from A4 or something like that, you know, and try and keep the opponent's king out of there. But I think King C5, I'm not sure now. No idea what's happening here.
All right, so what if we do this?
Okay, I'll go C7 then. The sheer hell of it.
I'm going here.
King D6.
So there. Is that a bit defensive?
And then Queen F6. I mean, even King D7 is possible. I think Queen F6 is quite strong. Don't know. I'm a bit worried.
Wait a minute. Let's go back to there because we do have a check.
Indeed. All right. F4. Making it up as I go along, really. King D7 was probably stronger, actually, come to think of it. But
you can change if you want to.
Oh, okay, we'll go King D7.
King D7.
King D7.
Okay. Right. What do you think?
No, I think White's just winning here.
Okay.
Don't know. Yeah, I guess let's have a quick look at the game.
Yeah.
Queen
A3, Queen D6.
Queen A6 was played, which is quite resourceful. King D6, Queen A3, but King C5. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem now. Because Queen C5, King C5 is probably just winning for White.
So let's just check it. So here. Oops, that's wrong. So here. So we'd have to try and take this to get something.
Yeah, then I go C7.
C7. We'd have to go there. I think there's no
Bishop E6.
Choice, and then here, and that's
it's just winning.
Too bad. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think then?
I think Black's lost.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do anymore. It's just hard luck, black. I mean, again, really exciting game and all that, but it's looking like just drawn the short straw again there.
All right, let's check chess, queen, and sloth. So it was looking good for white when we last saw it.
Oh God, look at that pawn on a2. So black's generated quite a bit of counterplay there. I guess rook a6 is white's idea here. Yeah, just getting behind the pawn. Oh, but I think black
isn't clear anymore, is it?
Well, I think maybe rook 8 b5 here would be a decent idea. And after bishop a2 or rook a2, we just take it off and take on e5, and then you're never going to win with double f pawns. So I think that looks like black's managed to fight, and she played it fight her way out of this position, and it's going to lead to
maybe a draw.
Yeah.
Could black win?
No, you're too solid here. I mean, rook takes a2 is probably the simplest, and it's just all
right. Shock and Drunken Knight, that was clear, wasn't it? This one is as we
bishop e7 rather than bishop e6, but it's just there. So we'll just take and go c8, and
we can stop the pawn. Okay, so this one safest to just take on a2.
Yeah, rook takes a2 is just a draw. A bishop a2 is probably the better move.
Did I blow that? Says b22 c3 Sicilian.
No, I don't think so. I think he always had just enough to. We didn't find any winning lines at all for you. Maybe the ending.
By the way, for the rest of the chat who doesn't know, b22 c3 Sicilian is Paul Dargan, who was just playing Mickey.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think rook d3 was the move we were looking at after e6, or maybe bishop f4 check first. But it was looking a bit similar. I mean, basically, black seems to be able to give up this pawn for this rotten pawn structure. But he's reasonably active. Pawns are on the opposite square to his bishop, so quite active. So we didn't see anything. Clear for you there, Paul. So I just thought you played well and put Mickey under pressure. And Mickey had to.
It was going well for you when Mickey played 1c5.
Indeed, we were suddenly smelling an upset when we saw 1c5, because we thought a man who's got b22 in his name, he will not be unhappy to have a c3 Sicilian. So it's probably a good thing though that you didn't have you weren't called b22 c3 Sicilian on chess.com. Otherwise, Mickey might have
avoided it then for sure.
But. No, well, very well played, Paul. That was really a really good game.
Okay, so just 3 games left, we think. This one, the smart money is on a draw, we think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna end in a draw. Then I think Shav's Tactics Monster. Yes, that's gonna end in a
8 hours prep. 8 hours prep. B2 C3 Sicilian. B22. Sorry. Well, you'll remember it for next time, I'm sure.
Brilliant.
So, I mean, Mickey did avoid all that. Did avoid 8 hours prep with his opening choice.
It is true, but I'd always find that having done that prep, it's in general that normally helps. You're in the zone. You're accustomed to the problem. You've thought about a lot about the sort of things you'd like against Mickey. So I think that really helps you to. I think I've often the best games I've played often is when I spent lots of time on prep and then I didn't get it during the game. And that was such relief because I didn't need to remember my lines anymore. That I just ended up playing well, and no, very well played. That was a great game. So I'm sure Mickey was really giving his absolute utmost, as always, to for for today. So brilliant stuff.
Did you play Keith already, Paul? I'm just going to look that up.
Yeah. They drew the second pawn ending. Yeah.
Oh, you drew. Yeah.
Paul drew a rook and pawn ending against Keith. So
yeah, I'm just trying to think who Keith is going to play tomorrow, because he's played already.
He'll play Giakos.
He's played Mickey. He's played Bogdan. He's played Paul, so he will play Giakos. Yes,
that's right.
That is true.
So because Giakos is on 5.5 as well.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Sorry. Yes. So, yeah. Gerasimos, Giakos, and Keith will be joint in the lead. Sorry, and so who's Gerasimos played? He has played.
He hasn't played Keith anyway.
Hasn't played any GMs yet. So yeah, so it's going to be Keith, and they're both due white, I think.
Yeah.
Keith's due. Keith's gone black, white, black, white, white, black. So it might work out. I don't know how they do it.
I would have thought Keith gets white, to be honest, but I'm not a big expert on these things.
Yes. Okay. A thriller for tomorrow, and then Mickey. Has Mickey played Bogdan? He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he played him yesterday. We commentated on it.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, I can't work out all the pairings. Is what's the upshot of that? Gunson will be on quite a lot of points as well.
So Shav's 7 has beaten Tactics Monster. Well played, both players.
We're on Shav's 7.
Thrilling
so
game.
We just 2 games left. One. Is this clear? I was thinking this was. It is clear.
H6. We can just take that.
Yes. Yeah, and the king can't get close and take that a pawn either. So
no, it's
okay. So that one's gone.
And then chess queen against.
Hang on a minute. Isn't that the wrong rook's pawn?
Oh, good lord! It it certainly is. My goodness.
All white has to do is get rid of the pawn with the knight. Yeah. So can't you just go like knight d6?
That is why Chris played the kind of. Oh no, you're right. You're absolutely right. My goodness. Oh, so oh dear me. Yeah, knight d6 works. F6, knight e4, f5, knight g3. It's actually just drawing.
So yeah. So okay. So Schlock. Oh no, Schlock just. I suppose this is fine as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah.
But he should do my plan.
Should do your plan, indeed. Yeah. My goodness, I just hadn't. I just wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah, you got to pay attention in this.
It was so far away. The king was so far away. The king was so far away from the from the corner.
Yes, I think he's seen it now.
But he doesn't. Does he have a forced sequence? I don't think he does.
The bishop has to move. Does he have a forced sequence? Let's see.
Well, bishop d3. Well, no, we don't need the ball. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Bishop d3 is probably the best line.
Knight h5.
Yeah, then I go f5. I should probably play king c. I could go king c3 is probably reasonably sneaky. But now Chris will go bishop g6. Now we've got that's a strange move. It would be better just to keep chasing the bishop, for example, or Don't know whether White's. Has White seen the idea? I'm not sure.
You kind of would think so, because that's what you got to play for, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. It's well, King G5 would be the natural one, but then ooh, dear me. Yeah, I think King G5 is probably the best.
Maybe we go knight D4 now to stop the pawn advancing.
Yeah, but then we go King F4. Okay, King F4 now. Quite sure how complicated this can be. Maybe it's just a very easy hold for White. Maybe it's possible.
What? Just keep checking.
No. I mean, just leave the knight. Stopping the pawn from advancing. At some point, if the pawn advances, then you might not be able to hold it back anymore. But obviously, if you manage to just stay on D4 more or less, then you should be fine. And then just try and pick your moment when White advances.
Because you could go and put your knight on G7. That might be a nice place for it. Then the king has to go all the way back again. That's quite amusing.
Yeah, but then I might play the bishop to G6 and then come around and trap your knight. So if you do that, not sure. It's possible to get the knight trapped. That's the only thing. If knight G3, okay, knight C3. Now we go bishop E4. Stopping knight D5. Oh, Chris! Knight D5 check. Oh, that's. I don't think it was completely trivial, to be honest. After bishop E4, because we've dominated the knight somehow. But yeah, and he offered to draw. Oh.
Shock.
just wait. Really, you shouldn't offer a draw like that.
I know Chris will offer a draw. Chris would have offered a draw. Now he's going to have to go and take the H pawn, the A pawn.
It's I see that Chess Queen 960 and Slow Sloth.
Yes, they drew. All right, so those last two games are finished as draws. Okie dokie. I'll see if the results are up. Yes, they are. The ranking list is up, so I'll just put that on the screen. Right, let's do that. Chess results. And so we have jointly in the lead Keith Arkle and Gerasimos Giatros. We then have a group of 4 players following on 5 points, which is Mickey, Bogdan, Paul, the C3 Sicilian expert, and gunslinger Jonathan Blackburn, the Welsh online champion. And then Ollie Stubbs, and then a group of players on 4, including a stack of juniors here. Ian, Yitchin, Freddie, and then more experienced players, Peter Finn, Checkmate a Lot, Robert Starley, and another junior, Edison Zhu, on 4. And then a whole lot of other players. So, okay, we are back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the next round of the championships, round 8, getting right to the closing stages now. Can Keith hold on to this lead? Can Gerasimos be the new online champion? Can Mickey or one of the others catch them up? We're also back, John Spillman and I, at 1 o'clock tomorrow for the next round of the women's event. So please do join us at both of those times tomorrow. And thanks everybody very much for watching.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.